Hi there. Okay, so this video toy looks really funky, and that's just about how I feel. This is just a crystal that I wanted hanging over my third eye area, and I tried to use one of my little avatars, but it kept flashing on and off, and I just don't have any patience for that right now. What am I here to say? I don't know. See, it's even flashing with this one. I don't know. I don't know if I've got squat to say. I did not mean to be doing this, but I follow heart. And when heart says push the button, I do. So here I am. Hello. How's it going? I guess I found something I journaled in, 3:30. And I thought I'd get that recorded. The Mayan day was 11 Jaguar. Or Jaguar. And so I'll share that with you. At least if this one flashes, it's not so shocking as the other ones. All right. I'm not surprised to find myself drawn to the journal today, it being a Jaguar Mayan calendar day, and an 11 at that. One of the ending days in the 13 days where things are coming together for the current trecena cycle. Being born on a Jaguar day may be why it seems to energize me somehow or resonate. I'm wondering how things are going for you, as I've gotten rather out of touch during my week off that I didn't intend to take. In just going with the flow as I do, one thing that trumps a lot is physical pain. It just seems able to dull the spirit somehow. It doesn't really. The spirit cannot be dulled, but it can take us out of touch with that. So I'm returning now. This is a journal on 2 days in a row. It's been rather strange what I've been through. Not only did I have my own personal challenge to income and being supported, but I also discovered that I'd been depressed. Now, with a heart as full of joy as mine is, most of the time, that one came as a shock, one I didn't much appreciate. Still, when we love truth, anything, quite literally anything, is okay, as long as it's true, and this is at least a fact. We can't really have divine truth manifest here in 3D, but facts, they're close. They're useful anyway. When we don't know why certain things are the way they are, that leaves us in limbo and watch and observe mode, which is okay, but it's supposed to produce fruit at some point. So this is the fruit. It took some divine guidance or help to see it, but once shown, it was so abundantly clear that there was no arguing at all. It was like a slap in the face. It was so obvious. It felt good, though. Having a fact is something the mind loves. It's something it can take action on to try to bring about change. While getting off into that whole linear past, present, future mirage isn't always wise. Sometimes it simply makes sense, like now. So we'll see how much the St. John's wort does for the depression. Between that and some sound therapy, I think I'll treat myself to. I know the body-mind will be pleased and improve. Should be fun. Balance, that's one of my favorite goals, and it includes making peace with the dark side of oneself. And that's not a topic some of us even want to hear about, much less consider. But I find it really useful, even practical. I don't like wild swings of the pendulum. Balance is best. So I've been sleeping a lot and burying myself in lots of near-death experience NDE recordings for the spiritual lift they deliver. What do you do to nurture your soul when things get particularly challenging? Now, I hope you have some things you turn to just to be kind and loving to the self. You deserve it, you know. Don't let the mind overpower the spirit. Be kind to you. I've also been feeling somewhat incompetent. That tends to happen when things keep changing so much, and what you thought was pretty cool, or the way certain things worked, proves not to be so solid and reliable as you had believed. Then you get to feel a bit lost for a while. Come on, balance. I'm rooting for you. Get your butt down here and take control. Not being a victim has been a sort of minor theme of things for me. Only a few years ago, I'd have told you I was strong, a survivor, and tough too, having come through a lot of tough stuff. I didn't ask for help, just kept slogging through, and I really believed in that view of the self. What a short couple of years can bring, huh? Now I see the little victim things popping out all over. Actually, this is a good word for the watch and observe thing. It's mighty powerful at helping us begin to really see the self, which almost no one does, although we all think that we do. To the extent we've gotten our focus pointed out into the world, we know basically nothing about the self. While it's true that the external world is a self-mirror, we don't tend to see or read it that way, so that just doesn't help so much. It's totally amazing what we can be looking right directly at, but not seeing, my friends. Again and again, this is brought home to me, thanks to just watching self. If we can stay open or get that way, then we're equipped to be able to see what higher or inner self shows us about us. We've got to hold our beliefs lightly, though. I find I'm exchanging out mostly all of them about every 6 or 8 months or so. The most dangerous state to be in, I've found, is just to think you know something, anything. If you do, then look out. You can pretty well know where the next volley of know-nothing is coming from right where we think that we know. I was tickled to hear Cliff High on his latest WebBot Wujo, the report. He promoted the know-nothing way of being empty. It kind of surprised me coming from someone so mentally intense. He's the WebBot guy. I'm pretty impressed with him. A lot that he says makes good heart sense. He's also promoting not being attached to any particular personality or guru or person who says he or she knows this or that. With this, I also agree, believing that this time we're entering has rely only on self written all over it, capital S. Trust only higher self and source is also a really good motto or strategy. Besides, whatever anyone knows is changing so fast these days, it just doesn't pay to make any kind of a squat on an issue or belief. Yeah, that's what I wrote, any kind of a squat. My goodness. Soon enough, it will be proved to be either wrong or not right enough, and you'll be forced to move on. That is, if you're a lover of truth. And I know Many of you are. Where are we headed? Well, that's strictly up to you. That's how I read it anyway. We're creating our future right now. Yes, it's true that we've always been doing that, but today it's different and getting even more different somehow. Not sure I can put words to this one, but I seem to see the veils starting to lift. I do think it will be several years before we have that radical change we're all hoping for. So my suggestion continues to unplug any focus of hope in this year, 2012. The powers that were have used this whole 2012 thing to basically blind a whole lot of folks by getting them so focused on that they can't think of anything else. I hope you're not one of them, but if you are, it's still not too late. Just let it go. Sit with the worst case scenario, which would be no big changes in 2012. Make friends with that. Just let it be like that. Make peace with it. That way, if something big does come, it will be to your total delight. But if, on the other hand, it doesn't, you won't suffer the extreme disappointment you've actually set yourself up for. Do you see? That's a big part right now of taking your power back. Let's not vest such belief in anyone or anything or any date anymore. Anyway, do at least consider that. I think it's not too difficult to see how it does give your power away and leave you vulnerable. Vulnerable to things beyond your control. Not so good. And it's a matter of choice, after all, what to believe and how much. No more victim stuff, right? Let's all choose. Now, it's fine if you choose to really believe and continue to believe in the December solstice date as something very special. I'm sure that it is. Let's just not focus on it so much that we fail to see the marvelous changing that is happening just about every day of the week. Things have been changing, and changes have been accelerating lately like mad. And for at least a couple of decades, I've been watching this. Have you noticed? No, hindsight looks back a couple of decades and sees it. I didn't see it that long ago. If you haven't seen this, I suggest maybe you look to a too intense focus on one particular date as the reason why not. Okay, enough of that. Really, I don't know if I've got anything else to say. It's been hard. Big deal, right? I'm sure it's been quite hard for most, if not all of us. Let's also remember to take nothing personal in these days and their challenges, okay? It's not personal. Doesn't mean you're worthless or you screwed up. It's happening to all of us. It's also helping us realize just how very quantum entangled we are, huh? We're all brethren, and that's one beautiful thing I think a lot of us are finding out. Remember, friends, you and I were more or less the shock troops. We're the ones that go ahead to clear the way for the rest, for those who don't seem to be waking up now. Don't let their continued slumber be any cause for distress or disappointment. We may seem to be in the minority because we are, but not for that long, that's my guess. The awakening continues to spread, but let's not try to rush people into it. They have their own timetables, just like you and I do. So I guess I'll close with a renewed call for respect. Tremendous respect for each and every one of you. Let's start with the self and give it a major dose of respect for simply surviving and being sane in this madhouse of 2012 Earth. Next, let's respect each other. No more pushing and prodding to change one another's mind about this or that. Give it up. Back off, for heaven's sake. Let's let each other alone, giving sufficient respect to honor the higher self of that one to run his or her own life. It's not up to us to make anyone else's decisions. Let's give more love and less advice. As she says, as she's giving advice, you gotta laugh, people. You just got to. Finally, oh, finally, let us respect the sleeping ones, the ones who still seem to be sheepling along in their mass hypnosis. That was us once. If we greet or see anyone with anything less than respect, then that's mind at work. We've got to fire the mind from its CEO position once and for all. Let us deal with one another strictly and directly from heart. And heart gives nothing less than full respect and honor. Hey, even love? Actually, the last ones are not the sheeple, but rather the powers that were, the bad guys, the Illuminati, the dark cabal, whatever your verbiage. The beings are largely the same, whatever name we give them. I may be one of the few to see this way, but I still believe that even among this oh so negative group, there are some bright, shining lights. Ones who simply haven't awakened yet. They're still in disguise, playing the role of bad guy, the villain in the play. There are also some who are awakened, but haven't yet played their aces. For the light beings among them, they've got to play their hands ever so close to the chest and stay hidden. Well, duh, of course. They're in the dragon's nest. Even in the top levels of military, as well as government, the CIA, FBI, all the alphabet soup guys are some of what are called the white hats. Let's not paint these groups with too broad a brush. Remember, we can't make any broad generalizations, not anymore. That's being prejudiced. Hello. Some would like to think, for example, that if it's a reptilian, then it's evil. It's bad. If it's a Pleiadian, then it's good. It's light. I beg to differ. You can't make a blanket statement about mankind, can you? Can you say all mankind is basically good? Or all mankind is worthless? How stupid, huh? Of course not. Generalizations are basically dumb. They're just prejudice clothed in language. And the people doing it are just exposing themselves. They don't realize it. They're just making fools of themselves. We've all been there and done that. You know, we don't need to look down our noses at them either. So let's not be too quick to judge anyone or anything anymore. That's my suggestion. The playing board is changing right under our feet. The changes are coming on so fast. I truly won't be surprised at who is waking up where as the days go by. We've got a big astrological thing coming on this summer too, which is Venus coming between Earth and Sun. That one was considered so important that the Mayan civilization made a particular calendar used just to track that. So you might want to look into it for yourself. Check it out. One way or another, these are tremendously special days we're all living. Let's not let the ho-hum or humdrum get in the way of our vision, our heart vision. Everyone, find your way into heart and take up heart vision as your pastime. Give it a shot. And while you're at it, try out having a more flexible perspective on all you observe. Don't be so locked down on any particular belief. Remember, your beliefs not only create, they quite control what you're able to see and not see. Good day.